The lockdown that never ended, but the bell kept ringing. I was a night custodian at a middle school in rural Pennsylvania for 11 years. My shift started at 9 p.m. after all the kids and teachers were gone. I liked the quiet. What I didn't like were the lockdown drills that the district ran during the day, because sometimes the teachers forgot to reset the door locks afterward, and sometimes the intercom system stayed on. One Tuesday in February, I came in at my usual time. The building felt different. Cold, but not weather cold. The kind of cold that sits in your chest. I started my rounds, empty trash, check bathrooms, sweep the cafeteria. That's when I heard the intercom crackle. That shouldn't happen at 9:30 p.m. The main office was empty, lights off. Then a voice came through. A woman's voice, like she was whispering into a microphone with her lips pressed against it. "This is a lockdown. Secure your rooms. This is not a drill." I froze. My first thought was that a teacher had left a microphone live, but I knew the system. You have to hold down a button to broadcast. Someone was in the office, or something was. I walked toward the main hallway, flashlight off. The emergency lights were on, that dim greenish glow. Every classroom door was shut. That was odd. Teachers usually left them propped open for me. I tried the handle on room 102, locked. Room 104, locked. All the way down to room 112, locked. Then I heard it, breathing. Not over the intercom, behind one of the doors. Slow, heavy breathing, like someone trying not to be heard. I pressed my ear to the door of room 108. The breathing stopped. Then a child's voice, barely a whisper, said, "He's here." I ran to the office. I don't run, but I ran. The office door was unlocked. The intercom console was on, the little red light glowing, but no one was there. The chair was pushed back, and on the floor under the desk was a pair of children's sneakers, size 3, still tied. And next to them, a handwritten note on lined paper. "We did the lockdown right. Why didn't the bell ring?" I checked the clock. It was 9:47 p.m. The end-of-day bell hadn't rung because the system had been locked into lockdown mode since 1:30 that afternoon. I called the police. They searched the entire building. They found nothing. No intruder, no students, no body. But they did find one thing. In room 108, the desks were all pushed to the back wall facing the corner. And on the whiteboard, written in dry erase marker over and over until it was almost a solid black rectangle, were the words, "The bell didn't ring. The bell didn't ring. The bell didn't ring." The school had dismissed at 2:45 that day. All kids went home. The last period ended at 1:25, and there was no lockdown drill scheduled for that Tuesday. To this day, no one knows whose voice came over the intercom that night, or who was breathing behind those doors, or why the sneakers were a size that no student in that school wore. I quit 2 weeks later. The intercom still crackles sometimes, they tell me. Always after dark.
The substitute teacher who never left. I became a school resource officer in a small Texas town after leaving the custodial job. I thought I'd seen everything. I was wrong. This happened at a K-8 school on the edge of town, surrounded by cotton fields. The school had a basement, rare for Texas, that was used for storage. Old yearbooks, broken desks, a decommissioned furnace. One afternoon in April, a 5th grade teacher named Mrs. Velez came to my office. She looked pale. She said, "Officer, I need you to check the basement. The sub we had yesterday, Mr. Callahan, he never signed out. And I think I saw him on the security monitor this morning. inside the school, after lockdown. I pulled the footage. At 6:47 a.m., before any staff arrived, a figure in a gray suit walked across the cafeteria camera. It moved slowly, arms at its sides, head facing straight forward. It walked toward the basement stairwell. At 7:15 a.m., the first teacher arrived. At 7:30 a.m., the school went into a routine lockdown drill, a planned one for fire safety. The drill lasted 8 minutes. When it ended, the figure did not come back up. I went to the basement with another officer. The door at the top of the stairs was unlocked. That was wrong. It was supposed to be locked from the outside. We went down. The basement was dark, the only light from a single bare bulb hanging over the furnace. The air smelled like old paper and something else. Copper. We swept the room. Nothing. No Mr. Callahan. No sign of anyone. Then my partner said, "Look at the furnace." The furnace was old, cast iron, the kind with a heavy round door like a ship's hatch. The door was slightly ajar, and inside, pushed all the way to the back, was a teacher's rolling chair. The seat was warm. On the armrest, a substitute teacher's badge. Callahan, Daniel. Under it, a sticky note with one sentence. "They forgot to tell me the drill was only 8 minutes. I stayed in the basement for 3 hours before I realized." Mr. Callahan had been subbing for Mrs. Velez the day before. The lockdown drill that day had been announced as "until further notice" because of a nearby police incident. But the all clear was given after 8 minutes. Someone forgot to tell Mr. Callahan. He had taken his class into the basement. That was the protocol for that wing. And then, when the all clear was announced over the intercom, he didn't hear it. The basement speakers were broken. He kept the kids down there for 3 hours. When they finally came up, the school was empty. The kids went home. But Mr. Callahan didn't. We searched for him for 3 days. His car was still in the parking lot. His phone was in the basement, on the floor behind a filing cabinet, with 47 missed calls from his wife. On the third night, the night security guard called me at 2 a.m. His voice was shaking. He said, "Officer, I'm watching the basement door camera. He just walked out." I drove there in 10 minutes. The guard showed me the footage. At 1:58 a.m., the basement door opened. Mr. Callahan stepped out, still in his gray suit. He walked to the cafeteria, sat down at a lunch table, and folded his hands. And then he just dissolved. Not faded, dissolved. Like heat distortion, then nothing. The camera glitched for 3 seconds, and when it cleared, he was gone. They never found his body. But teachers still report seeing him in the hallways during lockdown drills, standing at the back of a classroom, holding a roll sheet, looking confused. The school doesn't use the basement anymore. They welded the door shut.
The morning attendance that called back. My final story happened when I was a principal at a small private school in Vermont. This is the one I don't tell in interviews, but you asked for unique. We had a student named Eli. Eli was quiet, kept to himself, always wore the same gray hoodie. He had an IEP for anxiety, and part of his accommodation was that he could go to the quiet room, a small converted closet with a beanbag chair and a lamp, whenever he felt overwhelmed. That was fine, until one Tuesday in November. We went into a lockdown because of a bear on the playground. Yes, an actual black bear. The state police said to keep everyone inside until the bear wandered off. Standard drill. We did head counts. Every class reported all students present, except one. Mrs. Abernathy's third grade class was missing Eli. I checked the quiet room. Empty. I checked the bathrooms, the library, the art supply closet. Nothing. Then the office phone rang. Caller ID said Eli's home. I picked it up. It was Eli's mother. She said, "Principal, Eli is here. He came home about 20 minutes ago." He said the school went into lockdown and that he was supposed to walk home. Is that right? My blood went cold. No lockdown protocol ever tells a child to walk home. I asked to speak to Eli. His mother put him on. His voice was small, flat. He said, "The man on the intercom told me." He said, "Eli, go to the quiet room, then go out the back door. Walk home. Don't tell anyone." So I did. I checked the intercom log. There was no announcement directed at Eli. No one had paged the quiet room. But the security camera in the hallway outside the quiet room showed something I still can't explain. At 9:14 a.m., Eli walked into the quiet room. At 9:16 a.m., the door opened again. Eli walked out, but he was walking sideways, like someone was guiding him by the shoulders. And right behind him, not touching him but close, was a tall figure. Blurry, not quite there. The camera never got a clear shape, but the figure's hand was extended toward Eli's back, fingers spread. Eli walked out the back emergency exit. The door didn't trigger the alarm. The figure followed him. Then both of them vanished off camera. I drove to Eli's house myself. He was sitting on the couch, eating a sandwich, watching cartoons. I asked him, "Eli, who was the man on the intercom?" He looked at me with those flat, tired eyes and said, "He didn't have a face, but he knew my name. He said he's been here for a long time. He said he helps kids who are scared, but he only helps them once." I asked what that meant. Eli shrugged. He said the next time there's a lockdown, I won't need help, because I won't be here. 3 weeks later, Eli moved to another state. His family didn't leave a forwarding address. The school got a letter from his mother 6 months after that. No return address, just a postmark from a town I didn't recognize. It said, "Eli is fine, but please check the quiet room wall. He wanted you to see." I went to the quiet room. The beanbag chair was gone. The lamp was gone. But on the back wall, written in pencil, so faint you had to tilt your head to see it, were names. Dozens of names. Dates going back to 1987. And next to each name, a single word. Helped. Eli's name was the last one. Under it, the same handwriting but darker, pressed hard into the drywall. Helped. Next lockdown, I start on the intercom. We tore down that wall during summer break. The contractor found nothing behind it but studs and insulation. But for 3 nights after the demolition, the school's intercom system turned on by itself at exactly 9:14 a.m. No one was in the building. The only sound was breathing, and then a child's voice. "I'm still here. The quiet room is gone, but I'm still here." I don't work in schools anymore. I don't answer phones that say "home" on the caller ID. And if you ever hear a lockdown announced, and the voice on the intercom sounds just a little too calm, a little too kind, don't go to the quiet room. Don't go anywhere alone. And whatever you do, don't let them call your name first.